Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to bring you a video talking about our Discord launch. But before we begin, I just gotta say one thing. Like, comment, subscribe, watch this video to the end, check out all our socials, and maybe sub to our Patreon. That way you can get full access and up-to-date news about what's going on. I guess the most important thing to remember is that this isn't financial advice. We don't accept liabilities for loss that you might incur, and all of this is for research and news purposes. So with that in mind, you're going to enjoy this video. Today we're going to be talking about the Discord, the official Anti-Hedge Discord. We started the private launch officially. So we promised that in Q1 we bring this to you, and now it's official that it is right there, you know? So we decided to start this on a private launch simply because we want to hammer out the kinks as well as give early access to the people who are in our Patreon, as well as some of the people who've stuck through us from the beginning when we first started. So this is like a tribute and a thank you. You get the private access while we build up this channel, and the public launch should be set for the 1st of February. Meaning by the end of the month, this thing will be ready for you guys to sign up and subscribe onto our Patreon to actually get access to it. To begin, we took some time. We wanted to lay this thing out so that way it could be very organized and clean for you guys, and this is how we decided to do it. As you can see here at the start, we have the anti-hedge zone. The first thing that you see on the anti-hedge zone is the landing zone. So the landing, welcome to the channel guys. This is your landing chat where you'll be greeted by the Me6 bot. And from there you can scroll through the anti-hedge thread to read the welcome and rules page. So the landing is just where you arrive, so that way you could access the rest of it. Then you go to the welcome. So basically the welcome is welcome to our private Discord, where you have exclusive access to our educational services, where we would like to thank you for being a part of this exclusive team, and we hope that you absorb and enjoy the information that's been given to you, right? So we're just, like I said, we're going over all the channels so that way you, the viewer, could watch this video and just know how it's going to be used, so that way you're pretty much understanding and it could be used effectively. But like I said, this is our whole point here. As you can see here, there's rules and guidelines. Definitely check this out before you enter our channel. It's pretty important. And basically from there it says no soliciting. That's basically the rules. No soliciting, no spamming the channel or other users, no adding users outside the channel unless discussed prior, meaning that if you are adding people to other Discord channels or other private things and you're basically approaching them outside of this channel, that could be something that is a penalized offense, because we don't want people getting spammed and bothered. So it's like everyone should have the right to have their respect and their privacy in these channels, and if you discuss with someone on your own time, that's your own business, and that's not Anti-Hedge's I guess it's not our prerogative or not our perspective. It's not for us to know. Like if you decide, hey, I want to talk to this person in the channel privately, that's your business, as long as you're both consenting and no one's getting solicited. And you know what I mean? If you do get solicited, you bring that up to one of the moderators or the admins, and we'll basically review it, right? So no giving financial advice. This is a research channel. You're only giving your opinion and research. You know what I mean? Like we don't want more than that. And if you have research that you want to give, you could post it. You could post it, and then basically from there let one of the admins know, and we'll put it into the respective channel that it belongs in. No abusive behavior or harassment will be permitted in the channel. So obviously, like, it's pretty simple. No sexism, no racism, no stupidities. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't have to say it, but I will say it, because at the same time, we have zero tolerance for any harassment of the people in our channel, and we do not want any like anything that could cause an uproar. Just be respectful. Pretty simple. No selling/sharing of the content on this channel, and this is extremely important because this is a private membership, and I'm giving you access to my mind. And if you start selling my mind without me knowing, that's going to cause a forfeiture of your membership and your subscription, and you won't get a refund for that. Like, I'll close your thing and that's it. You know what I mean? And I'm very serious about that, because I'm giving you basically 5 years worth of knowledge. You know what I mean? That's 5 years worth of my knowledge. And if you want to be able to bask in the glory of that, you're going to have to respect that rule. And it's not that complicated, you know what I mean? Like, this is our recipe. We're allowing you to partake in the stew. Don't shit in the stew. Pretty simple. Last thing here is if people are caught doing this in the channel, it will result in immediate bans and closure of your membership in the channel. Depending on the severity, it could even result in a forfeiture of your Patreon membership. And your down payment on that membership, by the way. And if you, the user, experiences any of the above rules being broken, it can be brought up to the moderators and reviewed by the Anti-Hedge team to handle the situation appropriately. If this happens, please save screenshots of the solicitations so we can review it appropriately. This is not financial advice. Thank you. So that's our rules and guidelines. It's pretty simple. Obviously, things like this could be subject to change. We might add more rules as this thing grows, but those are the 6 rules that that's law. Nothing is gonna shift those things. And I guess now from here I could start breaking down the channel a little bit better for you guys. As you can see here, we have the announcements channel. You know what I mean? Basically from the announcements, every time there's an announcement or something that's going to be added, we're going to put it here and it's going to just be us that have access to it. And that's it. Pretty simple. Next is the community zone. So one of the things that I wanted to mention, right, is the community zone is where most of the community will be active. And I wanted to make that clear because people, I don't want them talking in the landing page, because the landing page is just a landing page. I want them in the general chat. And from there, in the general chat, obviously it's super simple. It's a general chat. Everyone's just here to talk and say what they got to say. And as you can see here, we already got people starting to talk as of when we launched on the 1st, or rather the 31st into the 1st. So general chat, that's where you're going to do most of your talking. This is where you can fuck around, have your fun, and that's it. Then you have creative projects. Creative projects, this is basically like, let's say you are working on your own thing and you want to share it. You're more than welcome to share it, and you could use the Anti-Hedge channel as a way to promote yourself, promote your business, and get it out there so that people could look into it. That's not going to be considered solicitation because it's in a public channel. Everyone sees what you're putting out there, and this is just a spot where, or actually rather creative project, this is more for if you want to show, like, if you're doing art, if you're doing music, if you're doing something creative rather. Sorry about that. But if you're doing something creative, you could post it here and you could share it with the community, because we want to make the community not just about trading this and that. We want to make it something nice where everyone could, not only trade but also be themselves. That means a lot to me. And chances are in the creative project zone, you're probably going to see some of the creative projects of my teams and some of my friends even be posted here. So the goal is to create a community where we could get exposure to things beyond just stocks. It could even be cultural. I want to create a cultural zone that makes us money and research. That's the goal here. Then we have entrepreneurial projects. So this is where people could discuss their ideas and potentially strike a business connection. There's no financial advice here, and this channel's intention is to help build connections and networks. Beware of potential scammers. Consult a moderator before making any decisions that could get you wrecked. So meaning, like, if something is here, it's an entrepreneurial project and people are like, hey, like, I'm starting a business, you know what I mean? Like, maybe one day we could crowdsource it or do something with it. Like, this could be a channel where that could become a thing. And then from there, it's like if people want to donate to the project or be involved or whatever, it's like this could be a nice spot where people could lay down potential business plans, and then it could be considered like an investment zone, because the goal of this thing is to start creating an online entity that could bring people out of poverty. And sometimes the best way out of poverty is to be able to crowdsource and use decentralized liquidity pools to do things. So that's the beginning of what that will be. And you know what I mean? Like, there's a few projects in the pipelines already that will be posted in these entrepreneurial projects, but I'm waiting to see how they work before I get them in there. And obviously, you know what I mean? This is just something, food for thought. Because as Anti-Hedge grows, it's going to become more and more of a business entity. And we want to basically share the spirit of entrepreneurialness or entrepreneurship and, be able to allow people and give them a place to post their ideas. Because even at that point too, if someone posts an entrepreneurial project and they're like, does anyone think this is a good idea? You'll at least get the opinion of an entire community. So the value of that is there. Like, let's say there's 100 people and you put out an entrepreneurial project and 80 out of 100 people were like, oh, I'd pay for that service. or 1 out of 100 people says they'll pay for that service. That could tell you what your potential market looks like, you know? So it's its own thing at that point. We have the community hangout zone. Oh, there you go. Whatever, that's part of it all. Good little beep. But yeah, so the community hangout zone, this is where people could discuss their ideas, potential. Oh, whoopsie daisy. No, the community hangout zone is just where people hang out. Sorry about that. It still has the entrepreneur thing here, but regardless, it's like you could just go and talk to people. It's a voice chat so that people could talk openly and be able to, you know what I mean, speak to each other. You know what I mean? We're a community. We're the Anti-Hedge community, and we're more than happy to be here talking with people. And you'll see us hanging out here. You'll see other people hanging out here. It's just a nice little spot to talk. Then there's the AFK inactive zone. That's pretty simple. It's obviously going to be a spot where if you're inactive in a chat, it's just going to port you into the inactive zone. Next, now this is where things are going to get more interesting, because this is where the channel is going to be broken down into an encyclopedia almost. And this is what I love about how we structured the channel. So it starts with market leaders. So the market leaders, as you can see here, Bitcoin. So anything that is Bitcoin related news, that is basically going to be put in the Bitcoin channel. Then there is so it's just announcements, news, research, anything that is Bitcoin goes in the Bitcoin channel. Then you have Ethereum. So anything that is Ethereum news and updates and shit like that is going into the Ethereum channel, which is just keep you up to date with what's going on with Ethereum. Then there's the general news channel, which is just everything that is happening in crypto. Like let's say El Salvador became legal and they made Bitcoin legal tender, that's general news. You know, that's where something like that would be posted. Because then from there, it's like you see what's going on a global level in the general perspective of crypto, as well as other things that are related to it. You know, and that could even be considered financial news. Like if JP Morgan decides to buy Bitcoin or decides to open up a blockchain sector or anything like that is general news that affects everything. So that's what that channel is used for. And I think it's probably one of the coolest channels to have, because it's not just going to be crypto related, it's business related, it's everything. The next is the OG Anti-Hedge archive. Now, a lot of people have asked to join the Telegram, but the Telegram right now is not really, like the discussion group is not really open. You know what I mean? Like the channel's already been set, the foundation is laid out, and it's all people that I've basically know in person and people that I've built already what Anti-Hedge is. And we decided like that channel sadly will not be accessible. You know what I mean? Because that's like that's an OG channel and people have already like paid their tributes to that channel. So I can't really open it up to the public. But the reality is that I gave you access to the archive. So there's the discussion, the Telegram discussion, and the Telegram archive. So the archive just basically gives you access to basically the last 2 years of information from Anti-Hedge, which is basically like a large chunk of what's been going on in the markets, updates, things that I've felt were notable over the last few years, right? And the cool thing is this is actually more of an Easter egg than it is like an archive channel, because in this it gives you the link to the Telegram, and then from there you could join the archive channel, so that way you could see what I've done over the last 2 years for yourself. But also the fact is that like, you could see where Anti-Hedge started. Like, I traded from 2017 till now, but in 2020, I opened up the archive, the news archive. I started Anti-Hedge as a whole, and you'll see how it like develops from like the beginning till now. You know, and you could join this channel and you could have access to the archive as it's growing, which is also kind of cool, because I'm never going to stop archiving information there, because I do genuinely believe that having an archive is valuable. And like, it's the OG channel. It's the first one that I ever created, and it's a little Easter egg that I decided to give to you guys, so that way you could see like a chronological events of the last 2 years. So that's the market leaders. I figure I'd give you guys the rundown on that, so if you see it in the Discord, you know. The next is altcoins. So as you can see here, this is the general altcoin news channel. So this is like if there's any prospective projects or anything interesting here, we're going to put it in the general news. And this could just be us going through the projects that we've put into our radar, but we haven't necessarily announced yet. Then the announcement is like, let's say we find something like that could be big, like Luxo, or it could be like the next thing, or we're like, oh, we should definitely let people know and create a separate channel for that, right? That's what the announcement channel is for. It's like when we see an interesting pick and we're like, oh, out of, let's say the 10 in the general chat, that's the one that we're most interested in. You know what I mean? That's for you. It's to let us know, like, if this is what we give you, the news, we're going to even try to sift it down so that way you can see what our favorite pick is. You know, and from there,
That's my bad.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
I have an alarm.
Yeah, it's all right. So then from there, you could get an announcement as to what we think is valuable. And then from there, like, you don't have to take it. Obviously, it's not financial advice, and everything here is not financial advice, and you'll see it written pretty much everywhere. So don't ever misconstrue it as financial advice. Next, Luxo. As you can see here, the Luxo archive, I started it off with basically the videos and the sources for the videos, and we're going to just basically, like, in this Luxo archive, which is the announcements, the news, and the research, keeping you up to date with this project. We're basically giving you what we have up to date on Luxo, and then everything new that comes out about Luxo is going to be in this channel. The same thing goes for Veracity. You know what I mean? We've given you everything up to date in this channel, and we're going to continue to bring up more. Blocktopia, same thing. I think it's pretty simple to see where this is going, right? If we talk about it, it's going to be a specific channel just specifically for that, and it's not going to be to mess around. You'll have access to all the sources, and all our videos are going to be posted here with their sources, so that way you could just see the archive as it grows. And we have pretty much all the coins that we're most bullish on the channel here. And you know what I mean? Like there's going to be also important news here. Like, look, you see, like, numbers to empower journalism of the future with decentralized mediums. Like, as you can see here, like, we're already building the archive. It's still very early. That's why we're taking a month to develop it before we go public. And, like, from here, we're just going to keep building, you know, and all these little things, all these archives are just our research. That way you have access to it and you could know where our opinions are coming from. So that's pretty much the altcoin channel. Super simple. It just gives us an up-to-date idea of what's going on here. And then we got NFTs arts. This is pretty simple. Let's say hypothetically we have upcoming NFT mints or artists and shit like that. Like this is basically where we're going to post it, NFT art news. So for example, we have someone, one of our friends, Justin, who's going to be showcasing his art soon, and we're going to be building a community, an art community of NFTs and art as well in the Anti-Hedge unit. And he's going to be the first artist that we showcase on it. And we're going to have him do an interview, and we're going to let you guys know what's up with that. And this is going to be the channel where his mints and his art is basically announced, right? So, like, this is for, like, artists, this channel. And I wanted to let you guys know that, like, we are going to have an art community. It's going to be our exclusive little thing. Then the NFT art announcements. So basically, if there's going to be an announcement of a new artist coming or an upcoming artist entering the space, like we're basically going to give you the announcement of, like, hey, Justin is joining the channel. Check out his art. And then bang. You know what I mean? So it's like we have the spot where the art is going to be showcased, as well as a spot where we're going to be announcing who's coming and if they're potentially, like, an up-and-coming artist in the 3D graphics / NFT space, you know? And from here we have mints, NFT mints, which is basically, like, let's say hypothetically something like Bored Apes comes around. I'm not going to say that I'm going to find another Bored Ape. Probably not. But the point is let's say hypothetically there is a minting process where, like, there's a chance where if you mint something, you could get something cool, like trading card kind of minting. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but, like, when you're minting for rarity and you're trying to get specific NFTs with the highest rarities for the highest value, it's like we'll be dropping those mints before they become public. So, like, let's say there's an interesting mint and we're like, oh, the Mike Tyson NFTs might be cool. There's 1,000 of them being minted, and the mint day is in a week from now. We're going to post that here. So that way anyone who wants to play NFTs has an opportunity to catch the mint and actually make money. Because catching them after the mint, it's harder to make money because the mint is where you'll make the money, right? So we have this section set up so that way when an NFT is being minted, you know. And then from there you can make money off that. And another thing too is like we have more channels to add, right? Like on this NFTs section, I'm going to be adding a play to earn and metaverse section. So that way it could be like, oh, like we have play to earn NFTs as well. So that way you could learn about some of the other networks that are doing that. And we're in the pipeline talking with someone who's managing Wax network. And he's going to be taking on the play to earn aspect, as well as someone who is a Axie Infinity, I guess, guru. He's already in the channel. He's kind of well known in the NFT community, and he's an influencer. But you're not going to know his name yet. I'm going to keep that a secret until the public launch. So that's already happening. I figured I'd let you know that there's more channels to be set up, but I'm giving you the rundown of what we currently have. Next is Anti-Hedge Live. So this is basically like if we are live, the Anti-Hedge team talking, and like we want to talk to our community, that's where we're going to do it. You know what I mean? Like if anyone wants to tune into Anti-Hedge talking and meeting them, that's where we would get it done. And then we even have like a live technical analysis channel. So that way it's like we would basically screen share and show you like how we do a technical analysis, which is definitely pretty cool. Then you have here, this is the first private zone right here. This is the influencer zone. So as you can see here, it's a VIP chat. Nothing going on here yet. But when our influencers come in, they're going to be set up as community heads. And people that are community heads are going to have access to the influencer zone. And because of that, they'll be able to basically, talk with influencers. And there's a few other people that we have in the pipeline in terms of influencers, but we're keeping that hush-hush until we launch and they're confirmed in our channel wanting to be part of the Anti-Hedge growth. And then we have the private influencer discussion zone. So that's just where influencers could go and talk to each other. So it's like the beauty is by having an influencer zone, you could have high profile people in a community, and those high profile people could talk to each other. Because when they're coordinating together, it just means that our community has a higher chance of becoming A, more valuable, but also B, it's like it's going to be an exclusive membership, right? And with that exclusive membership, that's where you're actually going to see like how awesome this channel will become. Because the whole point is that this is going to be a gated community that not everyone's going to be able to be a part of. And you guys will have the opportunity to be a part of it. Next is events. We have conferences. So like we did the conferences in November, and they're still being edited. But basically, this is going to become where our conferences are announced and where they're going to be basically uploaded to. So that way, anyone who wants to see the conference, they could go there into the conference channel and see what our lectures/conferences are about. Then after here, we got live meets. So live meets, this is something that we're working on, but like due to COVID, it's actually very difficult to make this happen. But we were in talks with getting a live event done to showcase an NFT gala. So that kind of got pushed back due to lockdowns and Omicron and shit like that. So there's not really much we could do about that. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Our goal is to create events and galas and do something where there could be live events. And this is going to be the channel where we announce it and host it. So that way it's like, fine, you can't be there physically. That's okay. But you could go and see it online. And if you are in Montreal, you know what I mean? Just by being in this Discord, you have access to come to that private gala. And if we host elsewhere in the world and this becomes something like CryptoCon, for example, it's like by being in our channel, you get access to that when it happens. So that's pretty cool. Then the next thing is Anti-Hedge team members. This is a private chat. The only people that are going to be allowed here are people that are a part of the team. So it's like, this is where we speak and this is where we chat. And this is just like basically where we do our updates within the team for you guys. So at least you guys could see this is how the channel is laid out currently. That's more or less the rundown of how the channel is currently laid out. I hope that this video is, more than enough to keep you aware of what's going on. There's going to be more channels added, but the recipe is going to remain the same. You know what I mean? Like, everything's going to have a dedicated section, and some of the channels that I've basically already put into thought in creating is, like I said, a metaverse channel, which is specific to metaverses, a play to earn channel. You know what I mean? NFT lands and shit like that. I want to create a channel for technical analysis, but not just for technical analysis of live technicals, but rather an archive of all articles and breakdowns of like actual like text. So it's like, let's say I put out an article that gives you like the top 10 most common patterns you're going to see in a candlestick chart. You know what I mean? Like, the point is that you'll have a channel to use as a reference so that you could look at the most basic parts of technical analysis. So that way it's like you could see what tools we're using, and you could just like, oh, hey, I'm going to click here. Hey, I'm going to read this. So that way it's like the second you come into the channel, you could take all that and learn right away. And that's another channel we're going to be adding. And there's a few other ones, and they're going to be posted onto our Patreon. So that way you guys could know where we're going with this and how we plan on doing it. And from there, I guess that's more or less wrapping up what I got to say. I guess the last thing I should say before I bounce is this. Hold on. So this is the tiers. As you can see here, we have the simple one, $1 a month, just to support, donate to us, let us know you love us. Then you have the $5 membership, which is basically like, it gives you archive, ad-free content, video tutorials, lessons, and some access to the Patreon only posts, messages. The $10 one, you have voting power, meaning that when a poll comes out, you're able to vote. So if, let's say we're putting out content about we have like 2 or 3 subjects that we want to talk about, you guys could actually take a vote on what we're going to put out. You guys have a little bit of power over what's going on. Patreon only posts and messages, ad-free content, the archive, private community, video tutorials, and lessons. So it's like, that's what you get on the basic one. And the people who subscribe to our Patreon early, before everybody else, they basically got access to the Discord on the lower tier memberships for pledging their loyalty early. So anyone who is ballsy enough to join our Patreon early and believe in us, they're in the Discord for, cheaper than everybody else is going to be. Because the next one is this. It's the VIP patron, $25 per month, only 100 spots. Only 100 spots. And I might even reduce it to 50 soon. Just so that way it's like, it's exclusive. And from there it gives you access to basically all the things that the other one, like all the other Patreon tiers have, but it also gives you access to the Discord. So the second you buy this membership, you get a link to the Discord, and you're just in at $25 a month. And then after these 100 patrons are done at $25 a month, it's going to be $50 a month to enter afterwards. And then that's going to be the set price. And there won't necessarily be more spots after that. And for $50 a month, you're going to end up receiving the same benefits as $25 a month. So the people that are fastest to join our Patreon and get linked to our Discord at $25 a month, they're going to have the best benefits, because they're going to get the same as the $50 tier that we're going to come out, but they're going to get it for $25 a month because they were early. So for us, we're big on people getting in early and supporting us, because the faster we fill up that 100 spots, the faster we could give ourselves more full time to Anti-Hedge. And then when that's happening, you as the viewers and the people in the community get more out of it. So the $25 a month patron tier, it's going to be awesome. And we're launching it this month, at the end of the month. So at the end of the month, this private Discord launch is going to become public. And we're also going to be doing a giveaway to basically say like, hey guys, congratulations, you know what I mean? We're giving some spots away so that way you could join the community and we could raise the awareness of the anti-hedge system. I think that's more or less it. We're going to wrap it up. I hope that this video explains a lot of things on how we're going to do our Discord, and from there, I got nothing else to say. Take care.